Should we get started? Welcome, everyone. I feel like I've literally tried to fix this lighting like 4 times, and this is what we're going with right now. Today I wanted to talk about the Sserafim trilogy, Easy, Crazy, and Hot, but they are gearing up for their new comeback in June because everyone and their mother has a comeback in June, and then their world tour, so that's very exciting. And the reason that these 3 make up a trilogy is because of their song titled Good Bones. Easy, Crazy, Hot, okay. When Easy was first released, fans didn't know that this technically was going to be a trilogy, the lyrics of Good Bones, and then until Crazy came out, and then everyone was like, oh, their next album should be hot if they're following this trilogy. Let's analyze kind of the trilogy and its impact on Sserafim's discography in general. Damn, I really make it look easy. So Sserafim released Easy in February of 2024, so around a year ago. Sserafim then went on to perform at Coachella for the first and second weekend, which was in April. Their performances at Coachella seemed to springboard a lot of hate, which personally, I don't really get why. Fans were commenting on their live vocals, saying that they weren't deserving of a Coachella stage. In my opinion, there's a lot of groups that focus more on choreography or stage presence rather than vocals. I think Sserafim's a pretty good all-rounder group. They definitely have songs where the choreography is more difficult, focus more on the dance moves rather than the vocals, and then they also have some stunner pieces where their main vocalists kind of just get to pop off. K-pop is difficult because the fans come to expect a really high level in the performance when it comes to both vocals and choreography. That's really difficult. And of course, like an idol, their whole job is to be good at that and have a charisma. But I think certain idols have their strong points, of course. And you've got tons of all-rounder idols, but there's a reason why certain idols have kind of the position that they do in their group, whether that be a vocalist position or a dancer position. I want to commend Sserafim for at least using live vocals. It's not super uncommon to have a very heavy backtrack and then lower the live vocals. And I think in their Coachella performances, you can really hear their live vocals. And Sserafim has even stated that the choreography for Easy is one of the hardest choreographies that they've ever done. So to sing live on top of that, like, can you do better? Because I certainly can't. But despite these comments, Sserafim has remained pretty consistent in their improvement after the Coachella performances. A lot of the hardships from their training can be seen in their documentary, which at this point Sserafim has 2 documentaries, The World Is My Oyster and Make It Look Easy. Both of these documentaries I thought were really good and shed a lot of really great insight into the K-pop industry and what these idols have to go through. Specifically with Sserafim, that documentary was a depiction of their journey to improve after getting a lot of criticism. And I think the results from that is definitely noticeable, especially with the vocal tone for a lot of the members in that group. One point that I specifically remember is when Kazuha appeared on KBS K-pop, which is Lee Moo-jin's service. Kazuha got a lot of comments on that about her vocal tone and how she's improved a lot. I felt like she really did get to shine here, and truthfully, this was kind of my first experience being like, oh yeah, realizing that Kazuha does have some really great vocals that I think they hadn't quite gotten to tap into yet. With Kazuha being a ballerina that was then brought into being an idol, I think a lot of us didn't expect her to have as toned of a voice, because I mean, she trained her whole life to be a dancer, whereas some idols train both their singing and dancing. I felt like she really got to shine here, and Sakura also really struggled with confidence, and you can see that through a lot of the clips in the documentary. Another member, Yoonjin, did have to step out of their live performances in Osaka, and Sakura got to sing some of her lines, specifically from the song Ash. I think Sakura still has quite a ways to go when it comes to her confidence specifically. From what I've seen of Sakura, she strikes me as someone who's very self-conscious. And while sometimes it pushes her to work harder than others, I think it also can become her downfall at times like these, where she has the talent and she has the skill, but she almost won't let herself use it to its full potential. Overall, I thought the group had had pretty good vocals, but ever since kind of 2024 into 2025, I think they really have been able to improve their live vocals especially. One of the best examples of this, in my opinion, is their live performance of So Cynical. The choreography is simple, so it's definitely easier to sing live during something like this, but it's clear that they're having fun on stage, which is nice to see, and I think their vocals just in general sound really great. To me, easy era for Le Sserafim is their time on stage and the things that they can take away from their performances. It's the work that we put in without feeling the need to brag about it, because we can just make it look easy. Act like an angel, just like crazy. Crazy was released in August of 2024. Honestly, I did not like the song at first. It was a bit far-fetched. Like, the concept was so out there from what I had associated Le Sserafim with. I feel like in my head, Le Sserafim was elegance and grace and all these things, and Crazy just smashed that with a hammer. But Crazy era did a lot for Le Sserafim. So when I started to notice Le Sserafim becoming more mainstream with their memes and with the Marvel Rivals character. And Le Sserafim was already associated with Overwatch because of Perfect Night, but I think this helped them become a lot less niche and more into the mainstream. Took that hard work from Easy and put it into a new concept, showing different aspects of themselves that we had never seen before. The performances and the vocals of this era really good. I remember watching the choreography for Perot, and I think it suits their vocals more. It's more in their range, but also the choreography looks super impressive, but also allows them gaps to be able to have greater vocals. Overall, that era is more built towards them. It shows a side of Le Sserafim that plays to their strengths, but isn't something that you would get to see often with more typical concepts. Kazuha showing once again that she is a all-star ballerina, and I feel like they really did shut up the haters with this one. I didn't hear a lot of comments on the vocals are so bad. Also, if you're commenting on K-pop posts about how bad people are, away. Anyways, I felt like this really flipped kind of what Le Sserafim stood for. Still remained true. I think that's a really cool thing to do in the middle of a trilogy, and then you kind of have Hot, which finishes things up. I think Hot's a really good wrap up to the Le Sserafim trilogy. Very laid back, perfect for summer. They took the trilogy on tour, and their tour is literally called Easy Crazy Hot. Hot, I think, fits more of what I had expected from Le Sserafim, and I think that just goes to show that just because you can do a concept that's very different, just because you can do something that's super out of what you normally do, doesn't mean you have to. Certain groups have kind of a concept type that they're better at doing. aespa, for example, is good at doing like baddie stuff. Like, I don't expect or honestly even want a cute concept from aespa, because that's not their thing. And to me, Le Sserafim's trilogy here is kind of just saying, just because we can do such a flipped concept, just because we are very all-rounded, we can prove you wrong, we can have better vocals, doesn't mean we have to. We can do a laid-back title track like Hot. We can do things that are crazy and still make it look easy. So what's next for Le Sserafim? Like I said, they're taking this trilogy on tour, so that's probably going to be their next couple of months. They do have a Japanese comeback in June. I'm not sure if that's a single or if that's like a mini album. Their next comeback is releasing on June 24 and is titled Different. So I'm kind of excited to see what message that could imply and kind of how that fits into this trilogy and their discography in general. I'm kind of interested to see if they do something like that again, where they have comebacks that relate more to each other. Thanks for coming to my app session. If anyone has comments on this lighting, please let me know, because I thought it looked kind of good, but I'm not sure. Also, if I... what?